global cult that trains men how to groom women into sex work.
I want to get to that next for
so
sure.
This is really serious stuff that the American right and Republican Party are associating themselves.
Going on, you guys, today we have Emma Vigeland looking into and exposing Andrew Tate, his connection to Donald Trump. Donald Trump, the administration, is pressuring Romania to lift restrictions on the Tate brothers. Let's go into it.
I mean, Jamie, you both have been talking about how he integrated this with influencer culture, which is, presents things aspirationally and can maybe look like this is what it looks like to be an actualized man. All you've got to do is sign up for my courses and everything will be solved for you. Like, when you talk about it being a political force, it's hard to ignore that in this country, Donald Trump defeated Kamala Harris. He talked about beating her up, or what it was, Mike Tyson beating her up. The initial reaction to her entering the race was she didn't deserve it. She slept her way to the top. Trump wins. Abortion's on the ballot as well. And then he nominates a bunch of people that have been credibly accused of major sexual assault, like Pete Hegseth, to one of the top positions. Steve Bannon harnessed Gamergate to initially build Trump's support of like these online misogynistic communities. It feels like this is really the culmination of that political force, in addition to other things about Trump. But really, this is a big piece of it, having success in this country.
Yeah, and Tate has played a big part in that promotion of Trump in the US. And the relationship between Tate and the Trump seemingly goes back further than most people would be aware of. Andrew Tate had a meeting with Donald Trump Jr. back in 2019. They took a photo together, which Tate used to sell one of his other courses on networking. Tate had Mike Cernovich, the sort of famous alt-right commentator who, assisted Donald Trump in some ways in his first election. Cernovich attended one of Tate's War Room summits as a professor in Romania, the very first one. And we found a lot of links between Tate and sort of the MAGA right. And a lot of them seem to come through this guy called Miles Sonkin, an American citizen who we essentially investigated and uncovered the true identity of in our book. He goes by the name of Iggy Semmelweis and sort of LARPs as a wizard. But he.
And as a young man myself, I even see the allure of a lot of these programs, of a lot of these quote unquote masculinity coaches. They, we all want love. And as you go through this world, especially in this capitalist society, they will sell you anything. They will say you can literally get love, act like me, act like this. He's not, I wouldn't even put him on James Bond's level. But anyway, I mean, it's still very, very much pushing these negative agendas, these one-sided theories on what it is to be a man. And yeah, I think that is very pervasive in this culture, and it is right now still influencing young men.
He had lots of connections with kind of MAGA land and put those people in touch with Tate. And I think it was kind of a symbiotic relationship in that Tate had lots of young male fans, and that was useful to Trump, particularly as we saw in the most recent election. But also in the era of Trump, politics has become the best way to get traction on social media, talking about political issues. And Tate really, really latched onto that as well. Obviously diving down the more conspiratorial end, but there has been this sort of symbiotic relationship between Trump and the Tates.
And Matt, who are some of the other players in like the almost extended universe for Andrew Tate that people may be familiar with? I mean, Fresh and Fit is the first kind of duo that comes to mind.
Yeah, Fresh and Fit. They're sort of in the kind of misogyny shock jock world, quite big. Sneeko, people like Aiden Ross, but
Trump appeared on his stream.
Trump appeared on his stream. Yeah, it's really crazy to think that Trump appeared on the stream of one of Andrew Tate's biggest sycophants. It's crazy, but
recommended to him by his son Barron.
Also, one of the Trump children has met with Tate, right, Jamie?
Yeah, Trump Jr. and also a current Trump staffer before becoming a Trump staffer spent 2 days staying at Tate's house in Romania. There are lots of connections between them. Trump had a photo op in the run-up to the recent election with Justin Waller, who's another friend of Tate's, has lived in Romania with Tate and is a member of his war room that we investigated.
We investigated for being a global cult that trains men how to groom women into sex work.
I want to get to that next. For sure.
This is really serious stuff that the American right and Republican Party are associating themselves with people that they may not even realize are accused of incredibly serious crimes. Elon Musk, now we also have like kind of boosting Andrew Tate. I mean, Elon Musk reinstated Andrew Tate on X, but he also has like retweeted and supported him on Twitter recently.
And it's a boys' club, man. It happens. It starts off on a small scale. It starts off in colleges, whatever you want to say. It starts off even smaller before that. And it's going to happen on a large scale. You have all these types, these one-sided, like hyper masculine, forces. It's very driven, like a Darth Vader type, you could say. And then they all get together and they all, just hate on anyone else that's not them. And that's just how it goes. And it's terrible, but it will continue to happen until they get initiated.
And yeah, this comes at a time where, we've talked about the extreme side, but then you also have lots of stuff in between. You have Joe Rogan, you have Dana White, the founder of UFC, and their influence on another kind of fragile masculinity, which we saw that in Mark Zuckerberg, who put Dana White on his board at the same time as he went on Joe Rogan to kind of proclaim that we needed to be more masculine, and in his tech company Meta needed to be more masculine and become too effeminate. So this idea of like reclaiming masculinity and the fear of like the feminization of men is present on the extreme side, but also, it's at the top levels of Meta and the Republican Party.
It is present in basically every fascist movement. Even if you look at the rise of in Nazi Germany, Hitler appealed to like this. What was it? Around a third of men were out of work around that time, and tried to appeal to that sense of a lost masculine ideal with nationalism, but also like giving people jobs and putting incentives to keep women in the home, producing Aryan babies. I mean, Viktor Orban is renewing this style of politics. This is not new, but it is new in the sense of like the influencer piece. So you guys spent a lot of time, or at least, you got to peek under the hood and interview Andrew Tate in person. You saw this war room. And
so there we have it, you guys. We have Emma Vigeland exposing Andrew Tate's connection to Trump, how his own influence helped shift the election. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.